Ravens live. 49ers.
It's live on 5, live on 6.
Bucks.
Season 2026, baby. We are alive, active. The regular season is upon us, man. After a couple day over ago, we just did the draft. Everybody done moved around, did some things, got some players in the building. We got trades starting to happen again. Not only do we have right after the draft, we got them continuing through week 2. We are in week 2 right now, and we are ready to get this thing locked off. Because at 7:30, you will not be able to schedule a game after that. So knock your game scheduling out right now. Post it in the chat so we can have a clutch on what's going on. Because around 9:30, if your game ain't started by then, you will not be playing it at all. And we will be saying who the hell is going to get the first win or 50-50. I am not chasing people this season. Not this. We 6 seasons in. You should know at this point by now. Again, 2 spots left in RDL 7, man. I'm plugging it out there just for those that are in the league now that don't, they didn't get their spot.
Seahawks.
2 spots left. Make sure you get the spot, man. Stop playing around. Stop playing around. Trade alert. Shuttle to the Panthers. We have a lot of stuff right now. Skadimes will be coming out today. He has his own segment on the show. Today, we're going to be doing something a little different. Today, we're going to go through expectations of the teams this year, man. We're going to start with divisions and go, throughout the division and see who's what they do in the offseason, through the offseason to what they did in the draft and what they're doing all the way up to week 2 right now. And we're going to go through things like that right now. Other than that, any plugs there for you, Max, before we get into the
Anyone new coming in for RDL 7?
Um, oh, don't think you're safe. Depth charts will be checked after this week.
There's a lot of guys who got safety
Don't fuck
plans,
around with the
corner,
fuck
corner,
around.
plan safety. I don't understand why, at this
Don't
point,
fuck around with the
as
fuck around.
many
If you
fucking
got a
corners you
question,
got on your
ask.
roster, you should already be able to make, you know what I mean? I don't get it. At this point, you're just doing it because you want to do it. And because, I saw this draft, 5 corners went in the first 15 picks.
Yeah, like there's plenty of corners. Um, it's probably your fourth or fifth corner anyways. So you go free agency, whatever you gotta do. Don't fuck around with the fuck around. All I'm saying.
Don't fuck around with the fuck around at all. Remember, we dropped the 33-year-olds that didn't
Chargers.
step. But what we also didn't do was take bonuses off. So if you are going to cut those players, you cut them at your own risk. But if you want their bonuses off and releasing them, then please hit the Panthers or myself up. Guys, remember trades got to get sent to either
Cardinals.
Max, Shoguns, or Antonio. The process goes the same way, except for there's not a big vote on who what the trade is. There will be one, the judge, the jury, and the executioner. Me, I will be deciding if that trade is official or not, and think about how I trade. So if your trade don't look like some shit I would do for a first, or for a pick after the draft, or if I'm trading a player, don't even think about it. I'm telling you right now, no ice cream truck shit coming around here. Hey, Mr. Softy, none of that shit coming around here, and we are not allowing that shit. And also don't remember you allow 2 picks in each round. If you got 3, get it rid of it right the fuck now. Ain't no holding on to it. Ain't no busting the funky super dope. Get the fuck rid of it. If you go through somebody's roster and you're looking at their draft class and they got 3 of anything, rape them. Rape them. They gotta get rid of it. They can't do shit about it. They just gotta get rid of it. You just take that shit and say we get that shit up out of here, cool. Nothing to do. Just take they fucking pick, cuz. Get rid of it. Hey man, we talked earlier on first, absolutely season 6, episode 1. We talked about some of these special diaper dandies. Max, we had some dog quarterbacks. It was 4 specifically.
Combine Warrior. out the woodwork.
How
So
many starting though? Out of those four quarterbacks that were dogs coming out that were
what was
highly
I say? It
talented.
was going to be that needed to go, one that needed to go, one that was luxury, and one that went. Well, I'll start off first things first. With the motherfucking Texans and Elway. They had Biggs before. Biggs is got paid a little bit of money, but I just think lack of production, wasn't necessarily proven right to be out there. So they picked up Elway.
I
Um,
think at the moment they
I
grab
think this
Elway,
is
Biggs is
one
a backup quarterback. I don't think he's a trade piece. I think he's a backup
no
quarterback for that
backup
Texans
quarterback.
team.
Yeah, I argue this is one that needed to happen. I'm cool with it. Easy. Next, we got Terrell Moon for the New York Giants.
You better fix
This
your
is the one
Wi-Fi.
that
You sound like you outside. It's your remote control or your headphones now. That's what that is when you get that type of
it's got to
static.
be.
Time to go get another one, coach. Time to go get another one, coach. Time to go get
Check,
another one. But your
check,
microphone check.
Mike.
You good. You in the building right now, man, while we
All
still
right,
in our
so we
playoff
got Terrell.
situation.
We got Terrell Moon for the Giants, playoff team. I was making the argument, they were ahead of schedule. The coach was feeling like, that was his full year. He expected to be better. This is the questionable one to me, where it could be easy improvement. And to me, honestly, he's banking on did I get an X factor quarterback? That's the only difference between this and a little bit of speed between 6'4" Hopkins and 6'4" Terrell Moon. 99 throw power Hopkins, 96 throw power Terrell Moon. The only difference between the two is 3 years of experience and five speeds and possibility of an X factor with Terrell Moon. So to me, this was a chance, mostly a luxury for the Giants to be able to grab Moon when they grabbed him.
What do you think, though?
Um,
Do you think this quarterback battle is going to go well on into the season, or do you think it was already settled uh, during the preseason and shit?
I think it's settled in the preseason. Excuse me, Moon was the first round. I think when you make that kind of statement, it was settled damn near from the day you drafted him. But we probably still put him through the transgressions of playing regular season. I mean, playing the preseason and fighting that battle out.
Who got to start day one, week one?
I'm reading Moon.
He
Yeah,
got
I'm
his
reading
first
Moon.
win too, week one.
Yeah, first win, first start. Hopkins didn't even touch the field. She don't want to jump too ahead, but since we just on it, he had 209, three touchdowns, two interceptions, and two sacks, 20 for 27, 74% completion, averaging 7.7
Fans,
yards
we
per attempt.
just got our
You know
pretty
his
face
dad
bunny, medium skin tone man face
played
bunny,
NFL football. For
medium
him to
skin
come out
tone
with a
face bunny,
74
Georgia Jones,
QBR right
Yeah,
Georgia
away.
just
God
Jones,
damn.
understanding
Kings
it.
of
Yeah, just
joy.
understanding the offense. Oregon. So I mean, it looks to me like next big quarterback from Oregon before that was Herbert. So um,
They
I,
becoming football a quarterback factory over there.
quarterback
Mariota,
factory or something.
Herbert.
Reading the field and some athleticism. Herbert, yeah, Mariota. Herbert's a little bit less athletic, but a fucking thrower of the football. I mean, at 6'4", like I said, 6'4", 227, 88, 90 speed. I think this definitely was the second option to me that questionable, but it could work out. I think this situation, as time will tell, as long as I don't think they have to necessarily make playoffs, which is weird to say because he just made it last year. But I think as a coach, this is second draft, gets more in, more rookies are going to be playing. I think
Drafting
this is
drafting your quarterback for the future. Does that give you leeway after the quarterback that's there on that roster right now got them into a playoff last year? Is that do you give them the new quarterback leeway being a rookie,
just
especially seeing the things some of the rookie quarterbacks we had in this league do? Do you give him a pass not making the playoffs, or is that a coaching thing that we kind of look at the higher ups of the New York Giants and say that's a junior thing that they ain't in the playoffs? Because this is going to be the argument in the playoffs. Terrell Moon was the right thing, was like the right decision. Not making the playoffs, Allen Hopkins is always going to. Is it? Do they need to get rid of Allen, get him out of there, so the fan base won't have that argument every time they lose or something go wrong? Alex did this for us last
um
year. Alex did this for us last year. Alex did that for us last year.
New York does get pretty hectic. It could be a move. I think
Jetson here.
I think it's always still nice to have a suitable backup, and this is just a not for long league. I think sometimes fans can get caught up in that, especially the New York fans. I would say though, to answer the first question though, if he doesn't make the playoffs, I think he gets a little leeway. Also because, I mean, his strength of schedule should be very significant this year, versus last year. He would have been in a third or fourth place schedule, whatever he finished out the division. I think he finished
Fourth place.
above. He probably finished fourth
Between
place,
him and the Cowboys,
it was
third
the
or fourth.
Cowboys, exactly. Yeah, so I'm like, I think he finished below, but he might have finished above. But regardless, third or fourth, then he makes the playoffs. Now he's at a second place schedule. It should be an interesting season for him. A little bit of leeway, but just depends on how he performs. Don't let the kid perform in the first 8 weeks, then we cut that rope short next
Yeah,
year
I
after that.
think I think it's gonna go two ways. Is the coach is a genius or the coach is an idiot for taking a playoff quarterback off the field. But when you make that drive, like Snake said, look, this was a pick you couldn't pass up on. Like you had the number one player in the draft drop to pick 21. Think about that. That's significant, right? It's almost like he's sitting in that war room, like when is my name gonna get called, right? Oh my God, draft room, green room, just sitting, and at pick 21, the Giants made a decision that I don't think was a bad decision at all because there's a difference in season six with a superstar playing quarterback and the X factor. I mean, you saw it with Vernon Sharper, although he got to a Super Bowl and won it on a star ability trait. As the league got better, what happened to Vernon Sharper for a season or two? All right,
He
now
definitely, yeah, yeah,
you saw
yeah,
the drop off. So like
yeah.
the pick was this: we got a guy that has X factor ability day one versus a guy that 9 out of 10 we're not going to get him on X factor ability unless we finish in the top three in some stats. And with the passers in this league, that's kind of hard. So why not? You know what I'm saying? So I think it made sense. I do think this was a decision from pick 1 to 21 that they were thinking about. And as the board started to, names started to come off that board, I think it became a no brainer for the Giants. I do think they upgraded. It's just how fast does that upgrade show, and will that New York fan base give that coach and that quarterback time to become what they have coming, which is the bright future.
Hey man, I ain't never mad to see a black quarterback in New York. You know what I'm saying? So, listen, I hope it works out. Um, I definitely think Hopkins, will eventually be somebody else's starter, but just for in case, um, I think you hold on to him for about a season and then you see what's up.
All right,
Um,
so Brady
and then Brady's the one that
son
goes
son
not
goes
needed
to
out.
he goes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I think he dropped too. Like so, we had the three top quarterbacks. Two did hit the first round. No, one hit the first round. The rest of them went in the second.
Yeah,
Because the
he went the
Texans
first
came
round. The
back
rest
and
of them,
got uh Elway. So we got
yeah,
two
second round.
quarterbacks.
Yep.
Listen, when they don't go first overall, they first picks, top 10, shit like that. A lot of pressure is off of those quarterbacks. Now you got quarterbacks that have very famous fathers, right? Very very famous Hall of Famers. And Brady's still trying to look. His Brady is so old. His son is on the field right now in the 2026 class, and Brady is a backup on somebody's roster right now.
I mean,
What we
like
do
Brady's still in
know,
the league. Yeah.
is Brady's son is a dog, and we do know the the quality of where he went. He went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, in my opinion, I thought the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would ride it out with him and bring him in. I get it; they have a starter over there, and Leftwich, another son of a quarterback father, right? I just thought Brady. It was just the perfect storyline. Tampa Bay goes and gets Brady too. You know what I mean? Like, let's run it back. Uh, this team is a couple of plays away from being in the NFC Championship game again. To be honestly, they're that good over there when it comes down to the talent they acquire. But if you know the GM over there, you knew that pick was never a thought process. I don't think he even thought, "Fuck it, I'm getting Brady, and we're gonna see if he's gonna battle it out for the starting quarterback job." I think Leftwich Antron was always the starter there, and I think it was a smart GM move. I think they grabbed him and wasted a second round pick on him and said we'll go crazy in the next draft off of him. Because as you can see, the rumors are he's on the block right now, and they're gonna get capital for him for sure. Um, so my question is now wherever he lands, does he become a day one starter right away? Is he going to touch the field
He
right
damn
away?
near has to. If you trade for a quarterback of his caliber at this point in the disc, you either are completely unhappy with your quarterback and are making it a right now, or you're on the mindset of like, oh, like I'll put him on the roster, and then next year when I'm done with my quarterback, bang. But then I would say to that coach, you might as well just rip the Band-Aid now. Unless you really think you're in a Super Bowl contention, you might as well rip the Band-Aid now. So wherever he's going, I think he has to start, or you just, I don't know what you're really doing. Honestly, if you don't, you could say you're trying to like, build him up, whatever, but he's ready to go right now. With a name like Brady, what the fuck does he look like sitting behind somebody? So
Oh, see Brady and Seahawk Green 3 shushing face.
It's gonna be a crazy situation. It's not, and we're getting Dimes has been talking and he's starting to tweet, and I'm gonna read this tweet. He say, it's a done deal. It's a done deal. Brady is on his way to Seattle. Let's see if we can find it. Let's see if he posted the details of this trade. Let's see if I can find it at
this
all.
nigga, this nigga DK just tweeted,
Lions.
"Loyalty lies nowhere." Hashtag fuck Seattle.
Boy, god damn. All right, so this is going to be a storyline. So it looks like the Bucks are sending Max Brady to the Seahawks, and they're sending their a third round pick along with it. And in return, they're getting a tight end, a first, and a second. So
Adams
again,
just tweets, "Can't rely on nothing out the not for long league." Glad Demario is out of there.
so where is I mean,
This is
is the
crazy.
Seahawks would be stupid not? I mean, this team and five and the 6 seasons we have, I think they
Brady
traded or
2.0
went
Listen,
Lions
after
6
five. How many
1
quarterbacks? I mean, they like
this is the
every
third
draft.
quarterback. You got Hawkeye Harvey. You came in. They did Daniel Jones and Baker, right? Not Daniel Jones, Geno Smith and Baker. Um, so that's one. Then you had Baker to Hawkeye Harvey. I want to say that's two. Then
Demario
Hawkeye
James.
Harvey to James. That's three. And then James to what sounds like Brady. That's four.
All right. Well, I mean, and, and it's another situation where a quarterback that's great could be on the move and losing a starting job to an incoming rookie who had a good year last year. Now, granted, they had their receiver was the best receiver in the NFC last year. He went over 2,000 yards. But again, they didn't make the playoffs. So I think this is a move where they're saying they need a signal caller that can get them not only in the playoffs but win a playoff game for them. Um,
Is this early unhappiness with James and avoiding that bread coming through? I mean, look, when I look at James's numbers, honestly, I'm 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 confused. This might be one of those
It's
like
a name
the
thing,
real
name and
organiz.
image. This is like getting an NIL deal. Bottom line, name, image, and likeness. Fuck that. Fuck a Demario James. Nobody said he was related to King James, and King James don't play football. But guess who does? Tom Brady's son Max plays football. Let's go
I
get him.
just
I
I
just
just
think that's
thought
a
that the logic
name, image, and
was
likeness, bro. Go get
it's
the
a
name.
completely different shot caller to me though. I just thought the reason for Harvey to James, and correct me if I'm wrong, was to increase in speed and throw power.
Right?
And height is what I'm seeing.
They were looking
6'2",
for a quarterback
210
that can get
that can
yards
do
with their legs on rollouts.
with their legs, or at least extend plays to do what they got to do,
Right.
and throw the ball down the field. 97 throw power
Right.
compared to 90 with Hawkeye. Okay, cool. 2 years in, I see, and honestly, I mean, okay,
Brady is factor none.
first year playoffs, 100 QBR rating, 3,752 yards, rookie year, 31 touchdowns, 22 interceptions, 36 sacks, 61% completion.
That's
Playoffs.
not a bad season at all. That's
James
that's
was
not a
likely
Then he
never
then he
gonna
that's
be a
not
powers
a
up.
starter.
He follows up in a year where they should have made the playoffs, but the coach just, birthday shit tapped out. It'd be like that. Whatever. Just missed a couple, like literally 1 or 2 games probably in the playoffs. 110 QBR rating, 4,400 yards, 33 touchdowns, 19 interceptions, less sacks, 31 sacks, higher completion percentage, 63, averaging 11.5 and highest yards per game.
This is a
I'm
quarterback that
I'm
should be
fucking
somewhere.
confused.
This
Yeah,
quarterback,
what the?
this quarterback should be. Here's where I would say: Demario James has a home somewhere in this league.
He got to
Not
go to
only do he have
Blackball.
a
There's something
home,
going on in Seattle.
he has a starting job in this league still right now. Here's my two teams off top of my head that I think Demario James will fit perfect at: New York Jets,
Yep.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Instead of Joe Burrow, but that makes Joe Burrow look almost
I
ignorant. To
think
be
Joe
fair,
Burrow is over with for Joe Burrow. Like Joe Burrow's got to be a bona fide backup the rest of his Game of Thrones career. Unless somebody like the Raiders go get him after they got their super package on fucking Trey Lance and shit. See how he work out for them over there.
I think okay. I'll say James might. God, I see the Jets. I was thinking maybe
What about the Saints?
that's what I'm like. I'm thinking the Saints maybe. I wanted to say the Jags, but the Jags has an X factor. The Saints does too,
I'll throw
but
a team out there that might can use a Demario James and get fucking busy with him. Philadelphia Eagles.
I wanted to say it, but that meant Hurts got to be on the move, and I mean that I just don't see the coach doing it. Honestly, I think Demario James fits what Boone does way better than what he's going to do. Way better than Jalen Hurts. 6'5", 97 throw power. Jalen Hurts 6'1", 92. What's 90 speed to 88, and what's 29 to 23? I mean, that might be the number one
Man,
team.
he a two speed to excel gift away from being better than motherfucking Jalen Hurts right now. I like
Jalen
that
Hurts
Eagle
to me, yeah,
because here's the
I like
thing.
that.
I like the Jets, but that's not going to fit that coach's style over there. They want a pocket passer. They want a guy that can 3 step drop,
I think
five
the
step
Jets
drop,
should
seven
get
step drop.
Hopkins.
That would be a great fucking move for the Jets
I
to
think
go
that's where
slide
the
over the
Jets should
guy.
go. Is
I think
Hopkins.
some of these guys that's losing their starting job. Here's the one person, the bigs. Big need to stay put right where he at, and I think the Texans got to steal at getting the best quarterback in the draft. Period. No matter how you slice or dice it, in the second round. Pick four. Simple as that. I think Mark is going to be in a good situation to get a guy that you think we talking about Elway, right? If you think about the traits of John Elway, especially early in his career, John Elway ran the fuck out of the football early on in his career.
Hmm.
Um, but you're not looking at super speed there with this quarterback. But just think about that West Coast style of offense that Mark plays with. Get the ball out quick, nothing there, take off. He has the perfect quarterback for that, and he upgrades big time over there right away in Texas. I think those receivers over there in the backfield, even that tight end room, are excited that they got themselves Elway in the building. I like them. I like him being where he at. But I don't think the starter that's now in the backup in that system needs to go anywhere. I think he needs to sit put. However, Demario James and Alex Hopkins have a home somewhere in this league. Um, I'm not against Hopkins sitting on that roster and being a backup. Right. I'm not
I'm
against
not
that at
either.
all.
Yeah.
I'm not against that at all. But I'm also about the fit. I really think Philadelphia need to make a move. They just got themselves. Remember, they've been looking for the Quest Watkins type of player since they traded him and got DK Metcalf in the building. Now that DK is somewhere else, I think the Eagles are going to focus on their entire offense now versus just the DK situation. They went out and drafted the fastest receiver in the draft. He's not a fast guy that just ran fast. He was a top tier receiver in this draft. He was actually the number 3 receiver, 4 receiver on the board in the draft. So they went out and got Robert Brown, and I think he's a game changer. You can't teach that type of speed. And you bring
James is
Demario
already
James in,
throwing. I was about to say
already
he
throwing
already been
bombs in
throwing
this
to where
league.
he
He's used to
throwing and
throwing
shit.
bombs,
So
bro.
I
Mm-mm-mm.
think that's the number one fit more than the Jets with Hopkins.
Mm-mm-mm.
I think that could be a move. Just just depends on the coach. Um,
we talk about QB movement right now, man. It's perfect. And then how about this? The deepest draft class we'll see this year coming out will be the quarterback position. We got 8 graded first round quarterbacks in this year's draft. I don't think that it's the wrong time for this. I mean, how things line up, man. Just think about how it line up. You have a draft class full of quarterbacks that are top rated quarterbacks. I think the first four best players in the draft are quarterbacks. Now think about this. It's at the right time. Why? Some of these star quarterbacks are up there in age now. Some of these teams are looking to replace the best quarterbacks in the league because of they're getting up there and long in the tooth. It's time to move on from them. So to have a draft class with quarterbacks like this, and then the quarterback. I mean, this quarterback class that just came out. It was super top heavy, and the Bills end up getting a steal. They found a pro day combine guy that lit it up, and we haven't. I don't think Josh Allen has played a game yet. I think since they got this guy, they sat Josh Allen. Is Josh Allen? Listen,
Bengals.
think about this. You got Matt Corral in Cincinnati and Josh Allen sitting on the bench in Buffalo. Make it
Nah,
make
Josh Allen
sense.
played. He just played in two losses. So I say this,
Man,
rip the
you
band-aids.
you go get a quarterback in the first round like that. You're moving on from your quarterback. I don't care if he's on the bench or not. Is this Bills team 0-2 or not?
They 0-2. That's why I said they just
Okay,
ripped the band-aid and
so
just
right
do a
now,
shot.
that fan base in upstate New York, that fan base is ready to be able to go through a grind, right? Which is let's go new quarterback. Let's we're gonna take our time. We're not gonna rush this team for anything. Let's give them some time to get back to the glory days of Josh Allen. But the thing on Josh Allen was can win you some regular season games, look good doing it, and then lose in the playoffs. So they ready to move on. That fan base don't they tired of Josh Allen over there. Again, Matt Corral is the starting quarterback for Cincinnati. Is he the guy over there for real? Is he really the guy over there when you got a Josh Allen? When you got a Josh Allen sitting there, or Demario James, or Alex Hopkins, you got. I mean, it's some teams that I think at the quarterback position they're not completely secured there, where they can make a move like that. You know what I'm saying? Or they got a couple of bridge players right now that can wait for this year's draft and attack it that way, right? I think the Bengals did a hell of a job in their last three draft classes of putting their team back together since the Jamar Chase trade. And because they picked their team back together defensively and offensively as well, I think they can go spend another pick or two on getting the quarterback to come in and take them into the next 3 to 4 years and give them a. I just think I could see something like that over there. I wouldn't. You never can put anything past the Raiders if Josh Allen goes on the block. I still think the Bills can get capital for Josh Allen right now.
They definitely.
Well, it's a quarterback league, quarterback friendly league, and the carousel is with the quarterbacks right now. We've seen a lot of swinging doors going on right now with the quarterbacks. Okay, a lot of opening and closing doors right now for on quarterbacks right now, man. What does that say about the teams in this league?
Um, they feel like they put pieces together, and
Rams.
sometimes you don't notice your play caller is or your shot caller is not or has hit his capacity or not able to push that team farther and get you where you need to go to match the weapon. So I think guys are starting to realize that and just kind of realizing that there's a little bit more push in some of their teams and they can still be getting better in certain areas.
Yeah, all I know is this. At the end of the day, this is what I do know.
Josh Allen eyes.
Go get your guy. Simple as that. Go get your guy. If you ain't got your guy right now and you ain't 100% sold on your quarterback, there are some guys that lost their jobs uh, overnight. So those guys are looking for a new home. They want to feed their families too. Um, what about some of those top running backs? You just have to address the draft class, the diaper dandies, the names that came out. You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing LaDainian Thomason's, D'Angelo Thomason had a great day over there in 49er Ville right now.
Yeah, yeah, he did. He had a good game, split carries still. Doesn't look like he's overwhelmingly won the crowd, but he had 12 for 158, no touchdowns, but he had four touchdowns his first game, so he's still looking pretty good. Um,
Man, miss some names, man.
and a win, and a big time win. Let me say that.
Bengals looking for RBIs.
I think MK Lynch over there in Pittsburgh. I just got out of the game with him. I think he got a bright future over there in Pittsburgh. I
Yeah,
think
he
that's
went
the style of running
seven
back
for
they need for the way
33.
they
That's
play.
even, yeah, that's 5 yards a pop against the Ravens defense as a rookie. That's something you build off of.
Hmm.
Not super sexy, but you got to take note of it.
Yeah, I just think, man, I think we got the league has room for like you said, not for long. So the league has room for new players to come in and make names for themselves, man. Let's talk about some of the before we get into what we getting into. Let's talk about some of the guys that stepped up last year. And just take a deep dive into some of the things. I like to start with MJ Vick, the running back for the Arizona Cardinals. Now he doesn't have Keontae Ingram in the backfield with him anymore, so that the Cardinals
The bus
put the
bus.
league on notice and said, "This is our guy now," and he showed it last year. But they also drafted Walter Payton, son over
Hmm.
there, right? To back him up over there, and then they also added a couple players out of free agency to fill that backfield up. They also made a trade with the Baltimore Ravens and getting Meekins over there as well, to fill out that running back room though. But is MJ on the right path right now? Is he on the right path for superstardom?
I think so. I think once the Cardinals kind of do things to, back you and have that investment in you, you're usually on an uptrend for the running back room just because, you know, they have enough offense to focus not only on you as a runner, but as a catcher and receiver in the game. So I think he'll get a lot of touch. And then even for Walter Payton, he's got to have some upside in his mind. It seems like generally the running back room is in a younger regime, which means regardless of situations, you should get opportunities and chances.
Hmm.
And this coach is not really scared to do that, make guys step up. So I feel like they're in a good situation right there. And then Meekins is there for the fuck up, really.
Yeah, he there for the depth chart. He there for special teams. He there for the like you said the fuck ups.
And then just to build, just to be there.
Yeah. So all I know is again you had how about Pippen? What he look like coming into season two? I want to know what him and Cameron looking like them coming into their second season, their sophomore years. Are we dealing with they are who they are, or they off the slow starts? Like what we looking like right
Pimpin,
now?
I mean, Pimpin's doing well, 5 for 120, a touchdown. Baltimore's defense, and then the Bengals two divisional games, so that can be tough.
What's the
Um,
stat line in the Bengals and then the Baltimore's game? Pittsburgh started off 0-2 this season. I don't think they're in trouble. I just think the schedule, playing
yeah,
two
winning
divisional
two
games right
divisional games
away.
at first, yeah.
Um,
3 for 33 against the Bengals, and then 2 for 87 against the Ravens. So I mean, still seems like he can stretch the field, score touchdowns. So I mean, it's more to see, but I'm not really too worried about Pippen. I think he comes into the year being a second wide receiver to pick ends, and I think that's just enough statement right there.
all right, so
Boykins is ugly ass 41.
how
He
about
got
this?
nine tackles, one
Who?
tackle for loss. Boykins, nine tackles, one tackle for loss. No picks
Uh,
yet, but six tackles against the Raven, three against the Bengals, and a tackle for loss. Still active.
well, the picks aren't going to come as high as they was last year for both. For Armour Davis, that's down the Saint, and those two safeties. And here's why: the schedule will be harder this year. We had a light schedule last year where we played, quarterbacks that's known for throwing interceptions. So now when you get to that Browns game is going to determine, it can set you up, set you into a path where you start taking the ball away from a lot of teams because of the game you come out of the Browns. But think about the Browns. They drafted the 6'7" receiver at 3, and Cameron was one of the best receivers in the league last year. What do you see headed for it there? I know they scored 5 points last week against the Chargers, but what was Cameron looking like?
Um, Cameron had 5 for 108. Um, the rookie had 3 for 22.
The crazy thing is, man, the scheme that they have over there, if they just get it right, do it right, they can be dangerous over there with their weapons. But you gotta give them guys some time. Again, I'm just looking for the sophomore guys that's going, kill that sophomore jinx situation. Who else was the dog in their rookie year? How about the kid for the Buffalo Bills, the big time 6'4", 6'5" receiver over there, Bass or something like that? I think his name was.
Um, let's see him. Polk, Knox, the Bills.
New England Patriots.
Oh, Patriots. Uh, Nothing. Bass ain't have a catch, but that's because it was Tyquan Thornton's day.
All right, no doubt. All right, man. So look, we're gonna do a league swing around, man. We're gonna start off with a couple of divisions, and we want to talk about y'all teams and what y'all did in the off season to lead up to what y'all look like in season 6, with week 2 going on right now, man. I think it's only right to start off with the NFC South, right? You guys hold the Super Bowl champs over there, so let's dig there. All right, so let's look at the Saints first. They were the team that was at the bottom of the bracket over here in the NFC South. So we're gonna go straight to the Saints roster and let's go. So Max, I'm gonna ask you a couple questions. Quarterback KK, are you sold on him?
Said quarterback KK.
Yep. Kai Kamaka,
No, no, irrelevant.
and you think the Saints should be in the mix for trying to go get a quarterback, right? One of those
I
quarterbacks is
do.
on us.
I
Okay.
do. I do.
All right, so remember this team drafted a running back at 4 when they had the same running backs already on the roster. It looked like they cut down on them running backs and they only holding on to 2. So Kendrick Mullins came in last year with the 4th overall pick. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think this running back went higher than he should have went for sure. This was just I'm intrigued with the speed, and that's what I wanted out of him. If you take a look at him, how much of a development has he had? But let's talk about this running back room for a second with the Saints, man. 215, 211. Both of them are speed backs. How can this?
I think Bruiser
If you the Saints and you're coaching this team, Max, how do you make this work? This backfield.
split backs, third down back. I feel like Vincent Fitzgerald would be my guy for that generally. But I'm looking. Something chill.
You got the
Um,
motherfucking the fan club headphones today, boy.
Something chill. Something like not too crazy. I'm not spending more than like a third or second unless it's a crazy back. But I need like a big. I need just not even big as in 215 is like. I'm just talking about not 5'8", 5'9". Like you need somebody that can like run the fucking football for real. But if I stuck with this, I would just use it to my advantage with gun and speed and get these guys into the open space, and just use them as running back and gadget players.
Hmm.
If I stuck with that,
A lot of two split back, shotgun split back offense.
got to or just even if you're not, yeah, like I don't want to give away too much sauce, but yeah, mostly that just because what you can do out of it.
Hmm. All right, let's look at this receiver room. Chris Olave is still here. Josh Allen is starting to develop a little bit. But when you look at these receivers outside of Olive, he has nobody in the 90s. When you look at the rosters of the top receivers in the league, he's well off from that. I
Yeah, he
think
still manages to have really good speed though, which is impressive, honestly.
if you're the Saints and you're looking at just the weapons right now, quarterback, running back, receivers, to be able to have a roster to compete with the rosters in this league, he gotta get actively on the phone today.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going quarterback and running back. I feel like there's a good amount of them out there. for you to like go acquire one and really spice up the offense. I think receiver is really not his biggest worry, but
Nah, I'm
you
not
go
worried
get
about this
one.
receiver room, but you can
No,
still
but
go
you
get a
still can
guy.
go get one. Yeah, you still
You
go
want
get
a high overall guy. That's
any. I
all.
was about to say any age really matters, but that's what I was gonna say. You want somebody at least in between this first player and this second player's overall,
Nah,
somewhere
I'm not.
between eight.
I'm not. I'm not. I don't want nobody under 93. If I'm gonna make a splash, we're gonna go get a guy that's somewhere
But
between
I
93
just
and
view. I'm
99.
saying I say that in the sense of if you depending on age, if he goes and gets somebody that's like 25 or that's like a 91 overall, I'm not mad at that. If the splash trade is the quarterback and the running back, the receiver is just extra, kind of like finish the weapons. But I don't think he needs to go super hard at receiver. Is really what I'm saying. I
I
think the
think
hard thing he needs to go at is quarterback and then running back, mainly running back to me, and then quarterback. Because I've never even seen him play consistently with Kai for me to just be like, yeah, he's dog shit ass. It's more like you might have missed the mark so much with that guy that you got to get a quarterback. But if you bring some new weapons, he might get a spark. But if not, then yeah, you got to go get a quarterback because he's been there for how many seasons now. He might have just the Saints might not be him. New Orleans just might not be his home anymore.
can offensively, can this team get it done in this division where you got some high power defenses in this division? Offensively, looking at the team that they have right now, I think this team is still a fourth place team in this division right now. I think the roster is showing, at the offensive position that they need to get some veterans over there, guys that are already, 95 and ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Just to bring them in, I would take those draft picks and I would just try to revamp this roster real fast and turn it into something to be able to, line up and beat the guy across from you.
Magazines activize.
Um,
Thing is, it's too early to move him now, though. So what do? Just effectively find a couple guys on offense, couple guys on defense, push forward,
He
and
ain't
then make
played
your
in two
trades, or
season.
do you
Me personally, I
you know what I'm saying? Because
don't.
you can't
Falcons.
make a you can make a trade this early and people know that you might not finish well, but like you don't get the value of the trade just off of expectation that you're gonna like be in the top
Here's
10.
here's my thing. Here's my thing. Obviously, this roster is the way it is because the coach hasn't been active. Simple as that. When you're not active, your roster looks like this. And he's playing this season, but he's on thin ice with playing this season. If he don't play and miss 3 games, is a wrap. Right? So right now he's playing, but I'm not worried. The defense don't scare me. Like I think they have pieces defensively where they can do some things. They brought in Eddie Money. I like him. They got some speed. They got some good players still on defense. I think they can compete defensively in some spots. But when you look at this roster, when we get to the 3 teams in this division with this team, you can see why it's hard to pick up the sticks and play a game because you're just not going to better win when you just not your roster is not heavy like the rest of the teams in your division alone, not even the rest of the league. So, I mean, you got pieces you can build around and build off of, but you gotta add some smarter players, veteran players that have been in this league for a while that can change your roster overhaul in a trade. Simple as that. I would take every fucking pick I got and go get players. If I'm right now, if I'm playing this season and I'm ready, this is my make or break season. I'm taking my. I don't need no rookies to come in here because the one thing they're not getting right, I don't think they're drafting good. Even when they draft, they're not hitting for the right spots. I mean, they did a nice little move and went and got a top tier corner to better shut down to go along with some guys that, in my opinion, should be higher overall guys. You look at the corner room; they're not bad at corner, but again, this roster don't scare you. You going like look, this roster will get you launch padded. This roster will get you the ball ran down your throat, and I don't think the firepower on offense is enough to better come back from a 10-point loss with that type of offense over there. You got to be a hell of a coach to really get it done. Now, with that being said, they got a guy or they got pieces at every position that they could build around. The problem is, how do you build around it? Right? When you got a pick in every round, I'm telling you right now, I might not pick. I might not pick for the next 2 drafts. I would take these picks and go build my team. Simple as that. If you wanna keep your job, simple as that right now. But I don't see them being outside of fourth place. Now, if they do that, it's just a hell of a coaching job over there. Simple as that. So let's go look at the Atlanta Falcons. They were the third team in this division this year. And we go look at the Falcons roster. All right, Desmond Ritter, man, give me your thoughts on Desmond Ritter.
This could be one of the ones I see getting replaced in the draft that you were just talking about. Just
Yeah.
because
Not traded, but in the draft, right?
replaced, yeah,
I'm
I could
not
see him
mad
getting
at you for
replaced.
thinking of. I'm not
Yeah,
mad at you for saying that at all.
that's what if I'm that coach, that's mentally where I'm at.
Right?
I
Go ahead.
think I think that he's very, very good though. I think Foe just puts him in a situation where he's actually Foe's better than Desmond Ritter, if that makes sense. I mean Foe.
Mm-hmm.
Saint's
Mm-hmm.
better than Desmond Ritter, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Just like
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I was better than Corral. So I think at this point he's going to hinder him more than he helps him, especially after Kyle Pitts. I think once the Kyle Pitts thing happened, Ritter had like a 2 year window to me where it was like if he can fight through, do some crazy things, maybe. But if not, then I say get him out of here.
Here's the thing,
Sleepers.
though. I completely agree with you 100,000%. But Desmond Ritter had some days in this league, man. At times, we looked at the Falcons as one of the better passing coaches in the league. Like, I mean, he wowed
He
guys with that
definitely
passing
does,
game,
but
the
is it
scheme,
with
the system.
Atlanta?
Yeah, yeah.
That's my thing. I think at this point it's exhausted. Kyle Pitts is like imagine like hit a up bringing Najee and then traded Terry McLaurin before he got the two niggas he got.
Right.
Like you'd be like, what the fuck?
Well, the Kyle Pitts trade fucking killed him. And here's the thing. Like, let's just talk. Let's just talk for a second. Now, again, my opinion. Not this is not facts. This is my opinion. He had an opportunity to bring in a weapon to be able to help him get back to what it looked like with Kyle Pitts, and it wasn't from the tight end position. He had an opportunity to get Maurice Teller in the building, and he opted out of it. Um, and I think Maurice Teller would have been that receiver for him because hear me out. Here's why. It's not like you can go look at Maurice Teller and think this. I got that receiver on my team already, right? I'm not. You definitely can't say that. I don't give a fuck what you saying. But when it's a guy like young Camden that's getting a guy that coached him, that's from his hood, just the name alone, you're gonna
Broncos.
find ways to get that man the football. You're gonna put him in a situation where I didn't put him in, where he was the man for us. And I think that's what Kyle Pitts was for him. He would have brought a guy in that he wanted to play with, right? And it changed the game. Instead, he in his division he got covering now, right? So I just think this. I do think Desmond Ritter days aren't in front of him at ATL. I think Desmond Ritter is the face of ATL right now for this football team. Um, but I think they got to find a weapon over there to turn them into the passing team they were the year they made the playoffs, and even the year before that. But I like Desmond Ritter, but I do think that we might see a quarterback drafted for this team still. The running back room, they picked up Mark Allen, and I'll let you speak on Mark Allen because he got robbed a little bit with Mark Allen. But go ahead, you get
Um,
Mark Allen, son of Marcus Allen, and you know what type of runner. If you know football and you know your history, you know who Marcus Allen actually was and what type of back he was coming out of USC and playing for the Raiders with Bo Jackson over there. And not only that, when he was in his 30s, playing for the Kansas City Chiefs and doing some things no other running backs did. Now go ahead.
I think Mark Allen is to me him and I think another person were on my radar as baby Henrys.
Does he deserve to have that 90 speed that he had when I made the draft class? I don't know how the fuck he dropped down to 85, but do he
Uh,
deserve that
I
90 speed?
I definitely think so. I mean, and then generally, Young Camden really didn't seem to care. Honestly, he kind of shitted the first 2 weeks with him, 20 for 98 and a touchdown, and then 14 for 81,
But
three
he
touchdowns.
but he
So
was robbed. You would never see me make a Hall of Fame name guy with
yeah,
85 speed. Now he was 90 speed. I don't know if I touched it later on or what the fuck happened, but he was 90. And I'm not going to do it on air, but even the Marcus Allen we dealing with 89 agility. I think I made him and didn't make him and missed some things and we just never caught it because you're not looking at a guy.
Mark
If
Allen
you put
is a
if you put the
receiving player.
highlights of Marcus Allen on and you tell me should he be sitting on 89 agility, you out your mind. But I'll do this off air. I'm gonna go back and really fix this running back for him. But we'll give him the 90 speed. Now, when I'm done fixing him, he upgraded that running back room. Yes or no?
Completely. Yeah, completely.
I still like Deion Weaver, right? I think they can be that shotgun team with Deion Weaver. But here's what happens: if they go 5 wide and they got a running back out wide, it ain't Deion no more. Mark is out. Mark Allen has to be that guy now.
Hmm.
All right, I like this backfield. This to me, and I hear me out. If you's right, Marcus Allen can replace Kyle Pitts. Yes or no?
Ooh.
Now, for you to know that, you
Yeah.
better go watch
Yeah.
highlights of
I mean,
Marcus Allen for why I'm saying this. If you's right in his system, I'm talking about Young Camden's system. If Mark Allen is used right, he can help replace that Kyle Pitts loss.
yes, yes, kind of. I get
Yo,
exactly
imagine
what you're talking.
Maurice Taylor, Mark
It,
Allen with the, oh my God, bro. All right.
yes, kind of. I think. I
Don't
think.
ask me for, you know what? I'll cuss him out later. I'm gonna cuss him out later. Go ahead.
I think. I think Pitts. I think Pitts was just broke. That's just my personal opinion of Pitts. I think he was just broke in the game. So I say it's like 70%, but it's a little bit more deadlier because Mark Allen is a running back. So like that's why I say like I agree with you because I can get it, and guys just got to know how to do it to see it. But like because he's a running back and he can also just carry the ball, sometimes it can be just that simple with him. He can just run the ball. Is that like that's why he can be just as deadly as the weapon Kyle Pitts, but
His
it does
dad is
take a
the
little
guy
bit of
that
molding.
in a Super Bowl against Washington Redskins broke left, broke right in the backfield, reversed, made two niggas miss, and went 80. Oh, come on. Go ahead. I'm listening. We here. We
Your
here.
rookie T-Ant has the answer for Pitts.
Huh? Your rookie tight end. And he's there. He ain't get him.
I think that I just see in a year Ritter could easily be getting replaced here. Um, yeah, I could see it. I wouldn't be mad
We
at it if
haven't
it
even
happened.
got to the receiver room yet, and we already, to me, I think, this roster is on its way. Is on its way. See, the good thing about the Falcons is they lost last year, and I think that's the best thing that could have happened to them because I think the year before they were ahead of schedule and they were doing some things. And when you see, listen, this is the one thing I could tell you: unless the schedule is a weak schedule, which you did the year before, you will not come back in and have that same success right away. It will come, but not right away. Like, you might come, you're going to come in and, if you got new pieces on the field, things change, right? The league change and everybody gets better every year for the most part. So I just think, the year where Falk was like, yo, I'm telling you, he throw the ball like me right now, bro. He was hitting shit and seeing shit that, you know I see. Like it was a tough game. That was a playoff game, I think it was, right? When he
It
said that
was.
shit. Like, but even with that being said, he was ahead of schedule with it. I think if he make the right moves and some of the right situation, and I'm telling you, the Maurice Teller trade that should have went here is going to haunt him. Is going to haunt him a little bit. But when I get to the receivers, you'll see that maybe not, but I'm telling you, it's going to haunt him. I just know how it feels when you playing with somebody you want to play with. You do some things with them. When you go get the guy you want, you gonna go do some things with it. But all right, so you look at the receiver room and you got Ladarius Tucker, right? Ladarius Tucker is in his fifth season right now, and he's only at 92 overall. So I think the development, and especially the production, is not adding up to the development. Production is not adding up to development when it comes down to the Darius Tucker because the production says he should be almost a 99 overall guy. I think the same thing
I
for
like
Drake
Ladarius
London.
Tucker though, but yeah. Well, London was because flat out just not invested in him. He wasn't really caring about London at all. Didn't really care about London until it was time to care about London in a way, which is not like, that happens sometimes, especially like I think young Camden has at this point shown that he's a smaller, speedier type of receiver coach. So I just think Drake London just got the short end of the stick on the coaching aspect of that, but I don't think that he doesn't know how to use them well at this point. Tucker, like you said, a little bit could be a little bit higher, but that's generally what happens when you take that season
He's
mark off.
dangerous. He's dangerous with Drake London in the red zone. Bottom line, he know how to throw the ball in the
Hmm.
red zone really well. So he's dangerous with a big body guy like that in the red zone. Um, but Ladarius Tucker really is your number one receiver on his roster. Simple as that. And again, he's a dog, and the production is there. But I mean, again, look at this receiver room and just think about who you got and Maurice Teller. What he would have had and Maurice Teller. I'm gonna keep going back to that because when you asking questions like, "Damn, yo, how you do this and that," and I tell you, personnel is everything, and you get blessed, and then you sneezed on it. Achoo. Come back and make a move to make that happen. I still, because look, even with a package, even with a +2, this and that, Carl Gore. Do you think maybe this can happen? I mean, he got the superstar on him. He ain't that bad in speed right now. Could he possibly turn Carl Gore and get some production out of him to be able to help him get over it? We're talking 2 seasons later, and we're still talking how bad the Kyle Pitts hurting him right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he could have prioritized tight end, or maybe we're just still focused on the fact that Kyle Pitts at the tight end was just dangerous for young Camden. If he rolled the offense over into just being dangerous at four deep and receiver, and then the running back, like you said, I think we would forget all about like Carl Gore. But even last year, I said Carl Gore still did decent. He was more of a possession receiver to me, which can be solid for young Camden at that second or third or fourth option actually. Um, I just think it depends on how he works it from this point on and what he can continue to turn him into.
No doubt, no doubt. I do like what they did in the draft with the line. Look, Ronnie Stanley is still anchoring this offensive line at left tackle. Again, I'm looking at guys that, in my opinion, should be a little higher in the overall though. But and he's older, so he could be dropping. But Larry Allen Jr., the moment he touched 90, 93 overall, he becomes one of the best guards in the league. True or false?
On who?
Larry Allen Jr.
Oh yeah.
So the line's still looking good to me. Doug Stevenson at center, 91 overall. You got Chris Lindstrom still there, 30 years old. And then you got right tackle Marquise Tillich. So I like the offensive line. They have the protection. And look, they got athletic guys, but these guys are pass blockers all the way across the board from left tackle to right tackle. They got pass blockers. So this offensive line completely fits the style of football that they want to play out there in ATL. So I love it. But where I think ATL is getting better at and where they're going to get better at as they develop is defensively right now. You bring in Bruce Smith, bro. I mean, was there any another pass rusher in this draft that can give you what Bruce Smith can give you right now, other than Reggie White?
I was about to say
I
other
would
than
say
Reggie
Bruce
White,
Smith will have
nah.
a better career than Reggie White.
Where Reggie White go again?
Kansas City Chiefs at 2.
Only because of destination, but I think Reggie White is definitely the better athlete.
Flat out the better athlete, flat
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
But Bruce
but
ain't
Bruce
nothing to
is still
sneeze.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I was just about to say Bruce is still Bruce. It's just give if I give young Camden Bruce and then Reggie to even somebody just like McCoy or Hoodie, I think you would see that Reggie White's easily better. But Bruce is definitely probably gonna have the better career. Um, if
You got
if young
you,
Camden gets really in that bag with him, because he's good as fuck actually.
and he has speed on the D line. That's the thing I like. I like the speedy guy, especially with Deshaun Ware. Right now, he's leading the league in sacks right now. And look, that's the overall you want to see on a guy that's been in the league for 4 years, 97 with the green hours up. I mean, look at the speed on this guy. I mean, you can go down to Rashad Gary was a speed guy, and then even this James Henry guy is a development project that's still sitting here. What happens with a superstar on this guy with 96 strength at fucking
Jazz.
DN with 88 speed, 92 excel? The Atlanta Falcons are fast, and they are very good up front so far with the DNs. And you go to the D tackles, nothing changes. Randy Phillips is a monster in his third year. You got some stock in Stockton, no pun intended. You got guys like these guys that are going to develop. I mean,
He
you got
got
Larry
some shit
Richards,
over
six
here.
four,
Yeah.
299 pounds. He got good speed, 99 strength right now. I mean, they
That
have
was a
depth.
rookie last year. Yeah,
They
he got some
have
shit
depth
over here.
at the D line right now. So their front four look really good on defense. They revamped that. You go look at the linebacker room. Arnold T. He's 84 overall at this point. You need to. You know who? If I'm the Falcons, you know who I go get cheap. You ready for this?
Waiting.
You ready for this? This how you know I be on my shit. I will go to the Commanders. Ready? I will go
Jamin
get.
Davis.
I will go. No, yep, Jamin Davis and Scary Terry, and I will ask you for a pack. What type of package deal you want to do for those two players? Now you bring in a receiver that changes the game over there, right?
Ooh,
A
scary
veteran
Terry.
receiver. I will go get Scary Terry, and I will go get
Yeah.
Jamin Davis, right? And here's why I say Jamin Davis. He's sitting on the bottom of the motherfucking list at 28 years old. So now
And
you
just
ain't
be
giving up a
feasting off
whole
of
lot
XP upgrades.
and sitting
Yeah.
on a 90 overall at 96, he comes right in and he's better than a lot of your linebackers right now. And he's
Him and
sitting
Kenneth
on
Murray would be shit.
he's sitting on 90 speed, 96 excel, so he's about a 92 speed. So that changes the game, and he's 6'4", X factor. You go
Him,
get
Kenneth
him,
Murray, and Vic. Oh
and then
yeah,
go
him,
get
Kenneth
Scary
Murray, and
Terry.
Vic. Yeah.
That's a one trade. Look, give me both those guys together, and I got a second for you this year, second next year, and we out. You get two X factors. That's 28 years old and still going to play at a high level all the way up until for the next 4 years for you, and it's a wrap. Now he go make that move, and honest to God, he's competing with anybody in the league right now, just because he strengthened his team on that way, and that's facts, bro. But this is the type of moves niggas got to see. They got to see that. For me to just see that myself, I'm just seeing it, and it's like, right? Oh look, am I lying? You go bring in Jamin Davis. Is he not better than both these left
Nah,
outside linebackers?
when you said Commanders, I already knew Jamin Davis was the topic because it's just I've been waiting for somebody to like have some wit about them. Try the Commanders. We know the Commanders don't trade, but I've had light trading history with the Commanders. You just got to be persistent and you got to want the player and be ready for the offer. Like so,
Even
I just don't
even
think
even at the middle linebacker situation, you can move him to the middle linebacker and slide Spurlock out to the outside linebacker,
that's what I was talking about.
and
Him
you
and Kenneth
good,
playing
right?
in the middle. Yep,
Because then
and
you
then
got
he
Vic and
got Vic.
Malone, and to be honest with you, I mean now that he's loaded at the DN, I would have put Malone out as put his hand in the dirt. But you got solid backups over here. Look, I'm gonna just say, and then Alex Vick is a superstar waiting to happen. Period, waiting to happen. Flat out waiting to happen. You just can't teach size and speed, period, right now, man. And he'll knock your fucking helmet off at 94. And then the bloodline is real. So, all right. So now you take a look at that front seven, right? And this team can compete with anybody in the league. True or false?
They definitely can compete with their division, which is where it starts. So
I think anybody. I think they're ready to play anybody at this point. All right. So you look at the cornerback room. AJ Terrell, he's up there in INTs right now. They brought in Bond. Bond has been that guy. We saw him go through a sophomore slump a little bit though. I don't know if our eyes came off of Bond because they struggled all year and wins. Or did our eyes come off of him because production made our eyes come off of him? I mean, you had a guy that had 16 picks in year one, and he came back to five. So is this guy staying away from a guy like him and knowing that he's the number one corner over there, and that's why AJ Terrell is emerging into the number one guy right now because they just not throwing the ball his way? I mean, you look
I
at
think naturally,
five
because Bond,
interceptions.
yeah, I think naturally, even it's a little bit of both, less production and then coach not necessarily winning the games. I think Bond also does just, he sits at number one.
Yeah, but that's the
Uh,
problem. Bond need to be everywhere on the field in the second. He need to be at slot.
yeah,
He need to be
that's
on the
what
left and right at any time. Like you got to move him around in game. Like you got
I
to
think
get
that's how
him.
the
You got
picks
to
come
get
back
the
up
production.
because
Yeah. Yep.
once you notice that Bond is guarding, okay, for me, if Bond is guarding Jamar Chase, I'm cool with Jamar getting three catches for possession catches because Bond's speed. Like I'm cool
All
not
right.
throwing any picks, honestly, because I'll go to other people. So like I think that's kind of what the matchup is, which goes what you were saying, move him around, um, make him unavoidable to a point where it's like you gotta either search every play where he is or you run the risk of throwing it towards Bond. Um,
Do they need another speed corner?
I think I need a lockdown corner. Well, yeah, actually, I'm looking at the speed. Yeah, I say another speed corner.
I'm not saying lockdown because again, Bunton is at 85, so you would have. advantage here with having a veteran, but he only has 79 awareness, so that takes him. He's a rookie on the field right now. But Terrell 95 awareness, and Bond is up to 85. And that's true development right there, right? Because he comes in the league at 75, so he went up 10 in 2 seasons for awareness, right? Because the only other way you're gonna get your corners up if you getting plus 20 packages and you get 2 points on your awareness and 2 points on your play rec. Other than that, you got to take a look at these guys, man. You got guys in the league that got a 99 overall grade and they 85 awareness. That means they tapped out. They not going no farther than that. So you got to know how to build your guys. For sure, you got to know what gets you awareness more than what doesn't. Because that's going to matter when you start to go up against some of these receivers. You need that guy to be as smart as the guy that he has to cover. Simple as that. But I'm not. I'm gonna say they do have a weakness here, and the fact is this: do you take your second round pick this year, second round next year, and go get the move I said, and then still are you looking for a corner or the emergence that AJ Terrell? Because look, AJ Terrell is having a good season so far in 2 games, but is it because of who he played? Or is it because you know what I mean? Is it schedule related, or is it he's just having a great career because guys are scared of Gerald Bond? GB is a dog. Um, but yeah, so I think they can get better there. But then I do love the safety room here.
Yep.
They're not. They're. I mean, when you say four deep, because you can't take away. 'Cause look, the way guys running at the receiver position, you need guys that's fast on the back end, right? So what I see here is I see big bodies. I see big body guys that could do some things over here. Um, when you got size and speed, it's just a game changer, right? They go get the rookie Maurice Hannon, 6'3", 215, another tall, another fast guy, with 75 man, 75 zone. He can cover. You just got to keep him developing. I'm playing this guy, but he's a special team guy for me, and I'm spot playing him. Victor Graham. What I would do is I would find out how do you develop your guys and get their points up higher. How can you take a guy from a 89 to a 95 in 1 season? And I'm asking Google that question, or I'm asking, I'm asking guys that know how to do it. The right things you got to do to get those guys up there, right? Because Victor Graham has been around since he joined since he took over coaching
Hmm.
his team, so he should be in the 90s already. He can flat out should be in the 90s already. Like you can get these guys developed, bro. I got guys that spot play, barely play, and I redshirt these guys, and I know how to get them XP points and get their development up. And you just got to be able to follow those trends. It's not the same thing to do all the time, but you got to follow some shit. But I like the safety room. I mean, you got big body guy back there that can come up and play linebacker type football at the same time, play back deep, and got the speed to be able to do it. At the strong safety, Julius Dalton, 6'3", 215. Now you're not as fast at the strong safety position, but guess what? Both of these guys can come down in the box and really do some damage down there. All right, so if I'm looking at the Atlanta Falcons, I think they are in a situation where they should be playing for the playoffs. I do think they still got holes that they need to fill, and I think it's at the strong safety position, at the cornerback position, and I think they can completely fill that need with the receiver. Man, you bring Scary Terry over here, and then you bring Davis over here. I think it changes uh two things for you because Scary Terry gives you that solid number one, and now you can really do some things with the speed demon. Your best receiver is now a slot receiver with Scary Terry on the field.
Yep. That is true. I think Scary Terry and Davis, can get it done.
I think this team is ready to compete for this division, but I don't think they win the division this year. I think anything outside of third, and if they can finish in second place, I think it's a step forward. But if they finish in third, they don't make the playoffs. So I think they have to finish first or second. I think they do have the product on the field to be able to go ahead and fight for their division, but I don't think they're as strong as the Bucks or the Panthers at this point right now. But you see the coach doing some things over there. So let's go to the number two team in this division and let's take on what the Buccaneers look like right now. All right. So again, start at the quarterback position right now. Max Brady is sitting here. We know he's gone. So that leaves them with one quarterback. I do think they need to hit the free agency and go find themselves a backup quarterback just in case. Um, but I'm not. Listen, I still think the Bucks haven't used Antron well, or Leftwich. I mean, well, yeah. I don't think they used him to his capability yet, especially with the run game they got over there. this team should really be utilizing him in the running game. And I think the moment they start to do that, it opens up some things for this offense. Again, I sat through a game last season and watched Antron Leftwich almost win him a game. He brought him back from an ass whooping, and then made mistakes at the end to lose the game. And I think that's not tied to the quarterback. It's tied to the coaching decision with the quarterback. But I like Antron Leftwich. I mean, you look at Antron Leftwich, he is one of the top echelon quarterbacks in the league just by overall, right? You go look at his rating. He's the number 11th ranked quarterback in his league, and that says a lot from a guy that was undrafted. Now, this is my problem with the Bucks, right? And every time I say it, he say, "Stop forgetting about that other guy," and I'll get to that other guy in a second. All right, so we love Najee Harris, but Najee Harris is 29. If Najee Harris has a flat tire or goes down for any games, they would on paper looks like they're in trouble because Tavon Smith isn't the answer over here at all. And for a team that's such a good runner like this, you would think that we would have two or three running backs over here that's ready to run the ball over here. They traded Hanif Anderson away. I think that was a bad mistake on their part, and they're looking for a running back. I think the running backs they wanted hit the board fast to sell. They left the board fast to sell in the draft, and they've been kind of still trying to figure a way out to get somebody in the building. Because I think they had this eye set on CJ 2K, and they had their eye set on Tomlinson. And the moment those two left the board, it left them scrambling on getting that backup running back. However, there is a plethora of running backs in this league, and that they can go get a number two real fast, and it will be easy and cheap. Wouldn't even hurt their pockets at all to go get one. I think they need one. He doesn't think it. Why? Because they got the best fullback in the league. I mean, when you got a fullback 255 pounds with 96 speed, you have a backup. Remember when All-Star had to be the starting running back for this team because Najee Harris had a flat tire, he had a high ankle sprain, so he didn't play in the game. He rushed for 183 yards and 3 touchdowns in that game and won the game for him. That was just a
Yep.
short last season ago. So I think they play the game knowing that our fullback is a tailback at the same time. So we're fine when it comes down to backup. My problem is this. You have the same two type of running backs in a sense. You have the same two type of running backs in your backfield. I think they need that shifty guy, and they had it with Hanif Anderson, that guy that can wiggle through some things. Um, but I'm not upset with it, right? They can get through it. They showed they can get through it all last year because this is the same exact backfield they had last year when they made it to the playoffs and won a playoff game. Again, Najee's 29. That's my only problem with Najee. At 29, he needs a guy that can take some carries away from him. I think the
Low
Bucks are in a
downloads with
situation
possible
where
96 speed at FB.
I think
Low.
the Bucks is because he was one of three fullbacks that I made when the draft was skitching, but I made him in the draft. He actually came out of the draft and he drafted him with I think a second round pick it was. He actually drafted him. I think it was two other fullbacks that I made. I barely make fullbacks, but when I do, I sneak them in, and he don't never miss it. He always see them shits because he get one every year. I do it. Not every season. I'm talking about every disc. I do it. But he came out again, 6th round, stole his ass in the sixth, boy. All right, cool. Two Pro Bowl appearances, and then when you hit the Pro Bowl, I give upgrades to fullbacks that make the Pro Bowl. So he had a two speed. He actually was a 92, and he got a 2 speed to excel 2 years in a row, and that's why he's sitting on 96 speed right now. Um, but the Bucks backfield is powerful. But when you're a runner, I don't think the Bucks is going to be successful in this sense. I don't think they get past the divisional round and the playoffs with Najee having 350 carries and 2,000 yards. We know he can put any back in the backfield and get that type of production. The problem is can you go add more depth and spread that production out and make it hard for guys to just scheme on just that one player. When you got two different style running backs in your backfield, that's at your 1 and 2, and you can bring them in as a third down back, things like that. I think he get more production getting the ball to these guys from the in the receiving game. Even getting this a guy that got some speed, shifty, and having him on some jet sweeps and 5 wide situations. I think it changes the offense. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are still in that seat in that mold where if they develop the passing game that's needed for this league, they can be really dangerous on offense. Flat out. Let's look at the receiver room. You ain't gonna get a better 4 or 5 starters, 4 or 5 receivers in the league than this. And this is what I meant by the Falcons or even the Saints. When you got 3 90s on your team, right? And he went and got Shelton out of free agency. The Patriots let Joe Shelton go, 96 speed, 95 excel. And then you got 6'4 Reaper, right? This is the trendsetter that made everybody go start getting the big receivers. And then JoJo Galloway, he came back to life again this season. So I mean, you got guys balling right now. Simple as that. So JoJo's been 1,000 yard receiver. God damn, his phone been tripping. No, gotta wait, D West. Whatever you ready call me to want, you gotta wait, cause. But yeah, I like the receiver room here. I just think they got to get better at receiver, not I think the play call. I think they got to get more comfortable throwing the football, and they show glimpses of it. But I think the quarterback's been around long enough to better not show glimpses and show that's what he is. So we're waiting. I think the Bucks are a good football team, and they're one of the better football teams in the league. And I think the better they get with passing the ball, they become a more dangerous team. You want to be an elite team. I'm on my show right now. I'm on the show. All right, so you want to be a dangerous team, and I think the Bucks can do it. I mean, you saw the Seahawks with their run game, how dangerous they are with the run game, and then all of a sudden they light you up with bombs because you can't stop the run. I think Snake should be a little bit more seasoned in a sense where it don't have to be run, 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 bomb. But I think if they open this offense up, Snake need to go back to Madden 20 with his offense, which entailed a lot of jet sweeps, quarterback powers, and things like that that had people, having to play the gadget game with them, and then they take the top off you at the same time. And they got guys that can go get the 50-50 when they throw it up. And I think this team is offensively is built that way. They got rid of the number one tight end in the league. In the draft 3 drafts ago or 2 drafts ago, a couple drafts ago. And they traded it in house. They stayed in their division with that trade. My question is, have they replaced it? Because when this started off, they had a tight end that came with the team right away that they played really well with. But I haven't seen good tight end play from this team, which is a little confusing to me because usually the running teams have good tight end numbers in the passing game. Usually, if you're a guy that can run the ball and you can scare the shit out of a defense running the football, that tight end becomes vital in the passing game because that play action keeps those linebackers still, and that tight end can sneak behind them in a lot of different route concepts. I don't know if these guys got that type of tight end on this roster or not. And I think it's needed. So to me, they should be 2 deep, if not 3 deep at tight end, because Allstott is a running back at times. So if they're 3 deep at tight end, one of those guys can go play fullback for him while Allstott's in that backfield, which is very fucking scary when you got 255 pounds with 96 speed coming at you. All right. I think they should have 3 tight ends, a complete nasty blocking tight end and 2 athletic tight ends that can, one that's a hand in the dirt dog that can block and catch the ball, and one is a guy that can, stand up like a wide receiver and make plays all over the field. And they said they got one coming in the trade, and I know who they got coming. I like that. So okay, so let's keep it moving right now. They got Jeremy Rucker they brought in. Again, these are bridge tight ends. I never developed outside of what he is right now. And he should probably be a little better, but I can see, it's a speed thing here. So again, the Bucks have the weapons offensively to compete with anybody and win their division. Now, this is where they got money at. All right, Tristan Wirth was the best lineman in the league, one of the best linemen in the league last year. Look, man, you got guys that can back it up here. He's 3 deep at the left tackle. All right, Charles Cross comes in the trade from last year. They got Tevin Jenkins is still here. So not only do the Bucks have guys that can play, they got guys that are very, very eye candy to your eye because if you need linemen, you can see it over there. They 2 deep at every position except for center. They bring in the Eagles' old tackle or guard and turn him to a center. which is solid. Usually when guys get up there in age and they still dogs and they got that superstar on them, move him in the center and get that work there.
Bears.
Brett Mallard at 6'7", 331 pounds is a monster. Only in his second season. He'll finish the season this season with his third year, and he's a 92, and that's what you want to see, right? Right tackle Tyrell Cloud played guard last year, I think, and he was the best offensive lineman in the NFC. And he wanted to argue that he's the best offensive lineman in the league. I doubt that. Eric Israel's that guy, but they're secure on the offensive line. There's no issue there. Defensive end, Nick Bosa. About time they moved him back to the end because I think they're missing what they had on the edge a little bit because Nick Bosa got played at D tackle, and I just think that it's easy to get him out the game. You know, got to do a double team to D tackle, and he's out of the game. Um, so I think Nick Bosa belongs on the edge, and I think as long as he's on the edge, you have a guy that can get you 15 to 20 sacks a season. They have to replace Aaron Donald, right? On a first glance, you look like they already did, right? When they picked up Broderick Peterson out of last a couple of drafts ago, they bring in Donovan Tatum, 6'6", 267 pounds. He was the fastest DN in the draft with the 89 speed, 90 excel. So they got another guy that they can groom. You lose Aaron Donald, you bring in a guy to help replace that loss, right? And then at the D tackle, you're looking at Randall Lewis. In my opinion, should probably be at DN. And I think 6'8" and Bosa coming off the edge is a problem. But heck, guess what? You still got Broderick, who's 6'8", coming off the edge. You can't teach this. 6'8", 270 pounds. He's on a lighter side when it comes down to D tackle. But you ain't going better, that quickness, that first step, that 86 speed, that 93 excel, and that strength all comes in and combines as one big powerhouse. You see, finesse move is more important to him because you see the 96. The difference between his pass rushing moves, power moves, is 83, block shed 83. They the problems that I have with him playing D tackle. Now, if that shit look like what the finesse move look like, then maybe he's the guy that's playing D tackle. So in my opinion, he should actually still be on the edge. And then maybe
Wow
Broderick,
has
who's a
Lee.
little bit more even.
Wow how's that possible 96 speed at FB? Lol. T coming Brady deal eyes. Packers.
All right.
Bears.
All right. So Broderick Peterson, like to me, he's more overall with that 96 power move to play D tackle. And this is who I will have. Plus, he's a little bit bigger. I will have him at the D tackle position, but this fucking D line is fucking huge and is good across the board. My boy Swing Wagner. I like him. Dog. You got a backup that can play special teams for you. Solid. At the middle linebacker, Devin White still holding it down. They go pick up Dante Brooks. If you know anything about Florida State, the linebacker named Brooks. The problem is he should have him in number 10 like his daddy. You want to be stunting like your daddy. So they got really good speed at the middle linebacker position. Even with the guys that are not really going to play, but they got good speed there. I like this solid look. And you like Devontae Bond. I love that. You got Justin Brown, who's up and coming as well. They got solid speed at that middle linebacker, and they got really good production there. So they're only going to get better. So this team, again, I'm looking at a complete football team right now. Sean Dupree comes from the Baltimore Ravens, and you get a Baltimore Raven corner, you're getting a dog. He becomes their number one, and he's flat out their best DB right now. Bramble's still in the building from draft one. You got Rashad McKee, who came from the Chargers. Chargers didn't even get his feet wet. He got him and then traded him. Drafted him, then traded him. And all he did, and it hurted the Chargers last year because they was able to get away with three corners all year until the playoffs happened. I think it was by the playoffs we finally stopped playing and did what you had to do. But that Rashad McKee was part of that trade that hurt that right now. They still got guys that's running around. They loaded that corner. They even got some guys over here that shouldn't even be sitting over here. But these are guys that need that corner. That need that extra corner in that corner room. Got some speed to come get. Like I would go trade him for Dane Leonard. Why not? 96 speed, 96 excel. Now he ain't going to shut down shit, but you ain't going to run by him. So they loaded here. Kyle Gordon still there, 92 overall, 27. This is the guy I would come get if I needed a corner too. But not like if I'm the Falcons. I'm not coming to get nobody like this. I'm just a guy that just need that fourth corner. You come get one of these guys. But they kind of loaded that corner. In fact, to me, they got way too many corners on their team. Taylor Moorhead, 6'2", 197. Development project. Trayvon Moorridge is their guy. And then at the strong, Russell Hunter has been a dog the moment he got drafted. And then you go pick up Emerson, Martin Emerson, 6'2", 203 out of Mississippi, who's a cornerback safety. He was able to stay at safety because the Browns had him at safety well before he became a 94 speed corner, 93 excel. So that's just still true at the end of the day. Um, but if I'm somebody, I would ask him for him too. I would inquire for him
Draft
and
pick
move him back
OTB
to
for
corner.
90 plus corner.
Yeah, nah, it makes sense because I don't know if this is old and it's just popping back up, but that makes sense though with James only being a superstar. It makes sense because um your style of play ain't gonna never have your quarterback in the top 3 to 5 passing stats to better get that X factor that way. So it makes sense. All right. So now we're looking at the team over here, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Look at their draft picks. They are one. They don't have a second. They got three, four, five, six, seven. They got a second coming. And they also got a player coming. So they got a first and a second coming. So they're gonna be ready to go again in this offseason, whether they use these picks to get more players in the building or they take the draft away. However they do it, they're one of the best GM teams in the league, and you'll always see them do the right things at times. So the Bucks are actually, they did take their first week loss and they kind of got their asses handed to them against the Panthers. But guess what? You lost to the Super Bowl winning team. So it is what it is. But they got to get over that Panthers hump, man. They get over that Panthers hump, they can win this division. Simple as that. Right now, I have them coming in second again. All right, so Pat Mahomes comes over early on in the season last year, wins the Super Bowl. They got
Patty
Pat Mahomes.
boy.
He's loaded over there. The running back room, LaVisca Chenault is at running back. Derrick Henry's up there in age. You got two young kids in Trey Grove, and then they traded for Deshaun Hilton with the Cardinals. So they got the running backs. They're fine over there. They're completely fine. At the fullback room, Solomon Brown, another one of those fullbacks that was made, dog. So you ain't going wrong there, right? Because you with him, you don't even got to turn old head Derrick Henry to fullback over there. You can just let Derrick Henry run out of his abilities. Simple as that. Because they have a good fullback at the receiver room, loaded. All right, so they got Jamar Chase, who's the dog. Poohan has been a dog since the first draft. They bring in Debo Samuels to play in that role of that gadget role shit they want to do with Patrick Mahomes. Muhammad was drafted and Cannon was drafted in the same draft class. Ask yourself, with the receiver room they had, what makes you go get a Maurice Teller? Why not? Will be the answer. I'll ask the coach yourself. Why do you still go get a Maurice Teller and give up a first to get him?
Um, well, our first is, playoff first.
By the way, not to
So,
cut you off, this was the player I was talking about for the Falcons. Had an opportunity to give send the first over and go get him, and he turned the opportunity down. This guy is a real person. He really played football. He was at a high level. He played on Pat's team. He played on the Raiders team. The Raiders was his quarterback. They won a championship in high school, and he was their best athlete on the team. Not only was he a dog at receiver, he was a dog kick return, punt returner, and he was a dog corner. But Maurice Teller, it was Coach Young Camden, so it would be only right to go get him. Not only are you getting a top tier receiver, you're getting a guy you would like to play with. Well, right now the Panthers got that guy. So talk about it a little bit. What does this do for your receiver room?
um, just keeps the evolution going. We really didn't draft the offensive weapon for Pat. We drafted the offensive line, and defense. So, we still want to always, pay dividends to
Oh shit, Mill played
Pat
for
and
Wilson.
what he wants and the type of talent he's used to. Um, just and in speed, honestly, like comes in our fastest wide receiver, arguably in ways one of our,
Max, he
if
said
not our first or
he ain't
second
played in
wide
two
receiver.
seasons. Max, he ain't played in 2 seasons, Maurice Teller. Talk about the last 2 seasons, what you saw him do not playing in 2 seasons.
WR is crazy.
Oh, I mean, 2 seasons ago he had playoff games where he showed up big. That was 2 seasons ago. Him and motherfucking Vic,
He
and then
won he
last
won 2 games for us
I was about
coming
to
off the
say I was
bench.
about I'm like yeah, and honestly, I mean he was sat by choice over there in
Reason you
Baltimore,
looking
and
for the
that to me is
corner.
never that's never something you really shy away from. You could have a corner sitting in Baltimore, and I don't think most people would shy away from it. Even if he sat the whole year, just because like it's still a quarterback coming out of Baltimore, which pays dividends. So him being the fastest receiver on our roster paid dividend. We lost our specialty kick returner and Turpin. He retires, so he comes in and does multiple things right away. And then honestly, we don't. We drafted receivers, but the type of receivers we drafted were both tall receivers. So we don't really like, no, we don't draft receivers. I preach knowing myself. We don't draft that many receivers. We don't tend to do it often. So when we can go grab a receiver that's the same age as Pooh Jers, it puts them kind of a tandem. Like we can ride that out and ride out the two receivers we drafted for a little minute as long as we want to, honestly. So
It gives you depth in the receiver room. It also can give you some trade capital, and also can get you if you know how to, finesse it. Guys can play like at this point. This team is playing for Super Bowl. Everything else don't matter. They don't care if their receiver. If they got three receivers with 2,000 yards, 30 touchdowns. They don't care about that, right? I think the teams that are worrying about Super Bowls and have the opportunity to win them and continue to get to them. Production is production. It doesn't matter where it come from. The success rate is getting up and down the field and having weapons to get up and down the field. Now, whoever's that guy on that day that make the play is going to make the play. And when you got guys that have this high awareness and high overalls already, you got a bunch of guys that can make a play for you. So when you're in a situation where Jamar Chase ain't having the best day, Pooh Hanna ain't having the best day, Maurice Teller might have the best day, right? When you got situations like that, you put yourself in a situation where you can win at all four slots at the receiver, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Simple as that. And I showed that 2 seasons ago where we had to dial something up, and I knew the guys that were productive in the game wasn't going to be the guy that won the game for us. And twice, Maurice Teller won a game for me dialing it up, calling his number. So it beats like they said right there.
and honestly, there's never like I don't know, like I still look at the receiver core, and then you gotta view Debo on his way out at 30. So guys gotta understand, like I said, it's always like vision, seeing the vision. Um, like you said too, like I'm not chasing nothing. So everybody on this offensive receiver room is going to touch the ball. Situational football is everything. Scheme is everything. And then, like you were also saying earlier, personnel. And he fits a certain tier personnel for my offense where it's going to be going. And then just Pat Mahomes in general. You've seen it in real life. They had plenty of receivers and they go trade for Kadarius Toney. Everyone was like they fucking loaded the receiver. So they were like, Pat was like, so like, so
You
I
go.
will I'll take another one. It doesn't matter. Like,
You had Mandrews on this roster. Mandrews left this season in the trade, and you bring in last year. You brought in Shockey, and then you bring in Walter Olson from the Rams. To get depth again at this tight end room right now. Again, depth is everything. And I just think it's a trend. Not. And I'm not, not calling you a copy or nothing like that. But you saw the
nah, I'm
production
not.
out of the Baltimore Ravens and what they did with two tight ends last year. It gives you. When it comes down to playing guys, especially the guys that you play twice a season, and then the guys that you always plan in the playoffs. When you start to play these guys, you have to be able to have go to bags. You have to have something to go to. Like you got to be in a situation where it's like, all right, I'm familiar. He's familiar with me, so the things that I like to do are likely going to be taken away from me. So what happens when I can come out and give him a three tight end set or a two tight end set or give him something different he ain't seen and make him have to make some adjustments and scramble around, and then as I'm using that formation or that part of my scheme, I'm seeing the things he's trying to do to account for, and I can bust him down a little bit more, and that might be the difference of you winning the ball game with no time on the clock and got to throw a touchdown to win a Super Bowl, right? Or losing the ball game because you going to the same play you ran 12 times already in that game.
I mean, it showed like that last year when we had Mandrews and then Shockey comes in and we pushed for Shockey heavy, heavy. We pushed for him late, heavy. Some people are probably like, what the hell what is he doing? Like third tight end for what? Shockey comes in playoff games and he's making big third. From that moment on, he scored 6 touchdowns in 3 games. First off, then in playoff games, I'm able to open up and do the shit that I need to do while going to get it. It all makes sense when you go and do it. And then playoff games, Shocky's coming up on big third downs and second downs. The reason we did a quick circuit is just for age. Mandrews was hitting the uncomfortable age for me. We felt like Tommy Trimble wasn't getting some notable respect, and then the guy we traded for with Shockey from the Bucks, we felt like was able to. He's gonna be able to do what we need him to do later. And Olsen is somebody that his name's Subtle, so we got him from LA, but we was looking for him last year. when we went and got Shockey. So it just happened that the coach came around and we just was like, well, shit. It's not like we lost interest in him. It was just we had to move some pieces around. And that's just how we made do.
I
But
mean,
this
you
is
went from looking for tight ends to getting to a bottom line. So now again, scheme is everything. So you got weapons everywhere, and the rich get richer in situations here, and your moves are being made like because you make a lot of trades. You've been making a lot of trades, and it's the reason why you're in front of your division right now. It's the reason why you're in front of the NFC right now. No matter how you do it, no matter if it's you buying a package, you getting a gift, you developing your team yourself, you see some of these things and you making the moves and you make it fit. This is being intimate with your team and understanding your personnel. And right now, everybody in your division has to catch up to that. And the closest one to it is the Bucks. Simple as that, because he has that same vision. He understands it. And I just think, it's your division to lose. And I think you woke some guys up over there in the NFC, and especially those Cardinals. Because as of right now, it comes down to who's going to win that game last, the Cardinals or the Panthers, right? Until somebody else in the NFC interrupts that. Now, when we talk about the NFC Championship games, that y'all not the only two teams that's been in the NFC Championship game. The Bucks have been there. The Commanders have been there.
been
But
there. Yep.
who's the next team to get there? Who's the next team to stop? The AFC guys looking at the NFC like there's no competition over there. It's really between Max and Falk, and I think that's partially true until somebody else shows it's not true. You got some teams over there that, to me, if they locked in, they can do some damage over here for real bad, real fast.
I think
Um,
me and Fogg know that it's just the outcome is not showing anything different. Kind of like what Los was saying. Oh, the regular four. Well, I don't think it's a shot. Don't get it fucked up. But it's just actually just happens to be true that majority of the fours have been those
get
four
the
at
fuck
those
out of
times
here.
until proven otherwise, and then you see when proven otherwise, Los comes in, corrects his what it used to be regular statement and says, well, the NFC is the same. Shit, AFC looks different though. Like, and it's just gotta until that does happen, it is me and Fox NFC to lose at this point, based off of outcome. I think we don't go into those games though, because we lose to NFC people. I think I lose to NFC people more than I lose to AFC people, honestly. I think I've
You're gonna
lost
play more NFC guys anyway, so
anyways,
it's
but
just.
like just like we're not completely just whooping ass all the way. Like we drop our games to our NFC guys too. It just when it matters, I think it's just been me and fault, which is that playoff time.
I think guys can think whatever they want when it comes down to you. The one thing they can't take away from you is this: nobody works harder. Nobody works harder in the league. Period. Nobody. I mean, I sometimes I avoid getting on headset with you because I know the next hour and a half I'm gonna be having to look at your team, and you telling me all the things. Look, should I do this? Do that? Do that? Like that's just
Broken
being
Wings
intimate with your
Mafia.
team. When you're intimate with your team, you understand things. I mean, it was a power move to go get a Patrick Mahomes. It's a power move to go get a Debo Samuel still, where most guys would say no to that. You gave up a second for the what's that receiver that used to be on your team?
Cup
Cooper
Coop.
Cup. Gave up a second. How many games Cooper Cup won for you?
Oh my boy, hey, I'm sick that Coop got a ring. Actually, I lied. Coop did get his ring. He got his ring last year. I'm glad he did, cause bro, Coop, Coop might have been in my head. He's like my third favorite trade. Favorite, not best. Third, like favorite. Derrick Henry's two, and then Pat Mahomes is one. But like Coop is my favorite, third favorite trade. I fucking love. Oh my god. And niggas definitely wouldn't have grabbed their nuts and went and got Cooper Cup with 89 speed, 96 excel.
Not for no second.
Nope,
Mm-mm.
nope. And he won me so many games, so many big first downs. Got to see the vision. I think
Your last two.
that's why I don't flinch on a Maurice Taylor. Exactly like that. I don't flinch because now times have changed. I just won a Super Bowl. My first is expected second. I have no idea what I could run into this season, but I know that I didn't get a weapon for Pat Mahomes, bro. So I didn't get a weapon that year for McCorral either. So I went and traded for Cooper Cup. I go trade for Maurice Taylor. Like not a lot of receivers that's generally better than Maurice Taylor right now at the age of 25, like at
uh,
all. So
when you look at the NFC South, it's a tough division, but it's a three deep division. I think the Saints are in catch up mode right now. I think the fact that he's going to play his games this year will tell us what we're going to get out of him. And I think if he makes some moves, do the right things, I don't think he'll stay at the bottom for long. But he got to catch up to what he got. I mean, you got to catch up to what this roster look like, what the Falcons roster look like, what the Bucks roster look like, to even be able to compete in that division. To me, I think it's the Panthers division to lose. The quiet battle is actually, this is about to be weird what I'm gonna say, but here's the quiet battle: the Falcons and the Bucks. That's a quiet battle. But then the Bucks and the Panthers is a quiet battle too. So don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if we got a new number one NFC South divisional champion in that division. But don't be surprised if there's a different number two at the same time. But until that happens, it's the Panthers division to lose, fellas. Next time we come on, we'll do the AFC West, and then we'll keep it moving from there. Other than that, and here's the franchise guru. I will holler at you when we holler at you. We're out of here.